Hi everybody, good evening. Just a quick confirmation, you all can hear me and see me. Okay, I think everybody can now hear me. Just give me a second, I'll try and open the chat window. Hi. So today we'll be taking the session on LRDI roadmap. Similar we did on Quant the other day. Today we'll talk about LRDI. What should your strategy for LRDI be for the next 1 year? How should you prepare for LRDI? What does LRDI include mainly? And so on, right? So let's start with it. I hope people can hear me and see me comfortably and you're able to see the PPT also, right? Okay, just give me a second. Okay. So now let's talk about what we'll be doing in today's session. What's our agenda for today's session? We're going to talk about what is DILR, why does CAT test you on DILR, what is its aim, when it is testing you on DILR. How is DI and LR different? What was the paper pattern over the last few CATs like CAT 22 to 25? What is the paper pattern? More or less, it is similar, not exactly same, little bit here and there. Demystify the unpredictable cut tag. What it is so much is being spoken about that LRDI section is very unpredictable. There is no fixed syllabus to it. Obviously, we will talk about this part. We will give you some syllabus. How should you go about it and so on? And how does one prepare for LRDI? Okay, so let's start. I hope, can I just hear some good evening so that I know in the chat that people can hear me? Okay, cool. So let's start with this. Now, remember when we talk about LRDI, what does LRDI actually mean and what does it? Obviously, in full form, it is data interpretation and logical reasoning. That's one part to it. Now, what does LRDI actually test and why does maybe CAT want you to know LRDI and so on? So obviously it tests the candidate's ability to understand information. So whether the information is given to you in the form of a case, whether it is given in a form of a graph, whether it is given in the form of a Venn diagram or whatever way the data is given to you, how well are you able to interpret it? Because what happens is, these exact same things you will need maybe in the real world also when you go to the corporate world. Okay, when you go to the corporate world you will exactly need these issues there also. You will need to apply logic, take decisions under some uncertainty. All the data is not very clear. It is not, everything is not black and white. There's a lot of gray area. So all these things become really very important from that perspective, that is a student really well prepared for the corporate world, LRDI can become one of the important things. Obviously, like quant and verbal, there is no fixed formulas over here. Like maths, when you do maths, there's always some kind of formulas, this chapter, that chapter. LRDI does not have too many formulas. LRDI is always slightly more vague. Yes, there is definitely some logic, some pattern to it, but it is much more vague than. So, for example, I will pick up a CAT 25 set today. Okay, and not a very straightforward set, a decently difficult set. And I will show you all that how y'all could have actually, y'all also could have done it. Somebody who's not prepared for CAT at all could have still solved it. And we'll solve it together only. Y'all can think that way. The very important statement over here, the focus is on how you think and not what you know. LRDI is going to be new for everybody. So a lot of students, who have this, that, oh, engineers have an advantage over us in quant. Some students feel that, oh, verbal mein ye log ko advantage hai, unko advantage hai. So my point is LRDI, everybody starts at the same level. Nobody has done LRDI in school and college. So hence always remember that LRDI is a starting point is same for everybody. So everybody can do well in LRDI. Say you don't really need a base. You don't need to have done anything in school, college. Yes, you just need to understand how to read well and interpret the data. That's very, very, very important in LRDI. So understand that. Please ask queries, right? As you all are going ahead, please ask queries, ask what you all want to understand, and so on. Obviously, because there is no syllabus, what also happens, there is no fixed syllabus, I would say. What also happens, people feel that there's nothing much to study in LRDI. Okay, LRDI is a topic, या तो एग्जाम में मुझे आएगा या तो नहीं आएगा. Very frankly, ऐसा नहीं होता है. LRDI is one area where you can just keep improving through practice. Do more and more practice and you'll improve more. That's the simple logic you have. Okay? So it's a very important stage where we talk about how much do you need to solve, and that is very important. What skills does LRDI actually test? So when we talk about, it talks about comprehension of complex information. What do you mean by comprehension of complex information? Basically, some kind of information will be given to you. Whether it is given in terms of points, as I said, it could be given in terms of a graph, it could be given in terms of some other shape figures or whatever. Whichever way the data is given to you, that data you have to comprehend and you have to maybe convert it into the most comfortable area so that you can answer the questions. Okay, obviously it will involve some logical structuring. Suppose कल तुमको उठ के you're working with a company and तुमको बहुत सारा data दिया है and you have to make a presentation of it. You can't take all the data and go to the company and say, okay, this is all the data, we will read 100-page ka data. That 100-page ka data, maybe you'll have to convert it into some slides, some presentation, and from there you'll be able to answer that. Okay. Obviously, because of the limited time which you have in the exam, you have 40 minutes. We all know per section you have 40 minutes and you have to answer roughly 22 questions. Obviously, whether you need to answer 22 or not is a different thing. Okay. You need to have that decision making under pressure. So are you making good decisions under pressure? Did you understand smartly that there was one or two questions which are very, very straightforward? Okay. So all these things become very important. Okay. So this will be your first part where what is LRDI and why do I need to do LRDI well? That's one part of it. And there has to be mental discipline. Now, discipline in LRDI is very, 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 very important because LRDI is one case that if you have a wrong selection. So for example, in the test, you have 5 sets. Okay. To achieve a 90 percentile, you need to solve maybe only 2 sets. Obviously, you want to achieve maybe more than that also, but to achieve 90 percentile, you need to solve 2 sets. Now, these 2 sets will mainly not depend upon your ability to solve them. It will be mainly dependent on your ability how to select these sets. Are you selecting the right set? That is going to be very, very, very important. If you select the right set, half the game in LRDI is won. So selection for me is the most important criteria in LRDI. Okay. Remember that that's going to be the most important thing for LRDI. So that discipline which you need to have, whether it is about solving on a regular basis, selecting the right sets, everything will become very, very important. Okay. Now, let's first talk about a little bit about difference between DI and LR. There are a lot of students in the middle of the year, they come back and say that, sir, I'm very good at DI. I'm able to solve DI, but I'm not able to solve LR. Or I'm able to solve LR, but I'm not able to solve DI. So let's understand what is it. DI mainly, okay, mainly in DI, there is understanding and analyzing numerical data. As I said, this numerical data could be in the form of a table. It could be in the form of a graph, or it could be in the form of a case. Anyhow, they could give you this data. Okay. You need to learn to work with tables, charts, graphs, percentages, ratios. You need to understand terms like CAGR. SAGR, okay, AAGR, all these terms you need to understand, obviously, which we will teach you as you learn with us. Okay, so Jay Lakshmi is asking why selection of set is so important, sir. So good point, Jay Lakshmi. Let's work on that one more time if you want. Understand that 90% of the students or even more will not be able to attempt more than two sets. Two sets out of five are what you're going to be able to attempt in an exam situation. Now, if you're going to be able to attempt two sets, what do you want to attempt? Do you want to attempt the most difficult two sets or do you want to attempt the most easiest two sets? Okay. So hence, it will always be important to get those two sets, which are the easiest two sets, and attempt those. That will be very, very important. Remember that. Okay. So working with all these things is important. What happens in logical reasoning? In logical reasoning, there is always some relation between the data. There is either a table. Yeah. So obviously you want to attempt the easiest two sets. So either you will attempt those, you will attempt them as some, there'll be some constraints given. Like I'm going to select the set today, the set I'm going to show you all today in practice exactly has all this. There is some kind of relation between the data given. There is some constraints given. Constraint means there are some rules which are there, which you cannot, you have to follow those rules, and that becomes very, very important. Okay, so somebody's asking, sir, in how many months do we finish the syllabus? Normally, syllabus gets over in 4 or 5 months, but LRDI is an ongoing process. You can start LRDI today and it will keep on going till the day of the CAT and even beyond for the other exams. Just keep doing on an everyday basis, regular basis. LRDI में ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि syllabus खत्म हो गया, तुमको solve करते ही रहना है, more and more. Okay. Now, this is the new trend in CAT nowadays. Everybody just have a look at this part. This trend in CAT is very important. What is happening over the last 4 or 5 years ka CAT paper? CAT has moved from pure DI, which is just calculation, to logic-based DI. So there is numbers, but there is also logic. And in LR, they have moved to number-based logic, which, as I said, which we will talk about today. So this is also the way how CAT behaves lately in the last couple of years. Okay. Now, what is the kind of syllabus you should be looking at? So, traditional DI, you should definitely know. You should know tables, bar, all the different type of graphs, pie charts, caselets. That becomes foundation for your data familiarity. Then there is arrangements, linear, circular, puzzles, matrix arrangement, linear, circular. Then there is matrix arrangement you need to have. This is the most important part. Develop the if and then logic, that if this is happening, then that should not happen, or if this is happening, then that will definitely happen, and so on. सर कैट की तैयारी से के साथ कॉलेज भी कर सकते हैं? यस, ऑब्वियसली कर सकते हैं, क्यों नहीं? ओके. High value LR, what? Okay, so high value LR make games and tournaments definitely comes a lot in CAT. Venn diagrams comes a lot in CAT. So in fact, the set which we're going to do is a little bit on a game today thing. Not game, but something of that sort. Venn diagram with 3 and 4 conditions and so on. And these are the conditions based on which you will look at. These are the CAT favorites, and most of the weightage is around these areas. Then the new age hybrid of the modern questions, as we call them, roots and networks, quant-based LR, missing data tables. Some data is given, half the data is missing, half the data is there. This is CAT ka favorite area. They always give such questions. Okay. So always remember, when in LRDI, important is more than knowing the syllabus, it is about how much are you solving, how much have you practiced. When you look at sets and you have to say, okay, wow, ये तो वो type का set है, ये तो वो type का set है. And once you are in that zone where you've figured out, okay, this is that type of set, that becomes the best part. Okay. Okay. CAT paper pattern, the structure, obviously there are 22 questions in 40 minutes. What is the pattern of these 22 questions? 5 sets, some 4 question ka set and some 5 questions ka set. Okay. So there are 2 sets with 5 questions each and 3 sets with 4 questions each. So 3 sets with 4 questions each is 12 marks or 12 questions, and 2 sets with 5 questions each is 10 questions, so total of 22 questions. As I said, if you are able to normally solve 2 sets completely correctly, complete and correctly, then normally you will achieve 90 percentile. That's your main requirement. So this is what the expectation should be. If you're able to solve 1 to 1.5 set, you will reach around 85 plus percentile. 1.5 to 2 set, you will be going to the 90 plus range, and 2.5 to 3 sets, you will reach the 99 plus percentile. Mainly 3 sets pe, you should reach 99. So what we've also done is we've given you the kind of scores which people have got in the last few years. Remember, look at the difference between 99 and 99.9. 99 pe somebody gets 38 marks. 38 marks is roughly around 13 questions, which is around 2.5 sets, which I was talking about. And at 99.9, it suddenly becomes 55. And 2024 DILR was very simple, very, very easy. So DILR in 2024 was very easy. So obviously the cutoffs and all should be higher. Okay, so while practicing, what should one focus on? I will discuss that also. How to practice is one of the most important parts we will talk about today. Okay, Pratiksha, just wait for that once again. You can take a screenshot of this table that will give you the idea of cutoffs which you will need. Okay. Now, let's talk about, so this Pratiksha, your question will come here. This will be the main page. Start with basic stuff. Over here, we have our LRDI essentials also. So we have LRDI essentials from iQuanta, which gives you the basic stuffs. You need to start going through puzzles, Sudoku, or any games which involve logic. My favorite is Sudoku. I think I learn a lot from Sudoku in LRDI. Every time I do the difficult level Sudoku, I do the higher level Sudoku under time frames. Even the most difficult level Sudoku, I try to finish it in 7-8 minutes. If I'm able to do that, that's how I will be looking at approaching sets also in LRDI. Solve at least 2 sets on regular basis. Remember, this is bare minimum. From here onwards, you have approximately 330 days to CAT. If I talk about 330 days to CAT, and if you're solving 2 sets a day, it's around 660 sets. Obviously, towards the end, last few months, you will have to put more pressure on yourself and solve maybe 3-4 sets over there. And hence, you can reach around 800 to 1000 sets. This should be your total benchmark for the whole year, that I need to solve approximately 800 to 1000 sets. Now, what do I solve? Lot of students have this query, sir, where do I solve from? What do I solve? Obviously, we will give you everything in terms to solve your material to solve. You'll have enough material to solve, enough different types of sets. Don't worry about what you're solving. Just keep solving more and more. Okay. But only solve those solutions or those sets for which you see good quality solutions. Because if you don't understand the set, you'll be wasting a lot more time over it. So always go through the sets very well. When you start looking at the set, as I said, selection is very, very important. So when you're even solving for practice, you should select sets. So suppose every time you practice LRDI, you have to say, okay, these are my 5 sets for the next 2 days, suppose you have decided to do roughly 2 or 3 sets per day. So these are my 4-5 sets for the next 2 days. Once I have narrowed down to that condition, saying that, okay, these are my 2 or 5 sets for the next 2-3 days, I should even select even during practice, because if I select during practice, it will tell me the right methods of selection, and hence I will not make that error. So that's the main focus you should have during practice. Second, always practice a mix of DI and LR both. If whatever is your weaker area, actually during practice, do more of that. If DI is weaker than LR, then do more DI, less LR, and vice versa. For students for whom LR is weaker, solve more LR, less DI. Because finally, logic is very, very important. Very few sets. Every year, I think maybe 1 set comes in the exam, which is a direct data set, where there is very little logic involved. And more there is, as I said, more everything else is more logic-based questions. Okay. When we start our live classes and assignments, your level of reasoning has to improve. So every time you see a professor solving, whether me, Nikhil sir, Raj sir, whoever solving the sets, when you see us solving the set, you have to think and you have to ask us, why did you do this, sir, instead of that? Or how did you think of this? Those are the important things you have to remember. Once you start understanding that how is sir approaching this set? Can I also think that way? That becomes the most important part. So with every live class and your assignments and your application classes, your logical reasoning has to keep improving. Okay. You can start initially by taking 20-25 minutes per set. No problem. Okay. But by the time next November comes, that means you're now taking 20-25 minutes. But by the time the next November comes, this 20-25 minutes should come down to around 10 to 12 minutes. That's the most important part. So over a period of time, you have to tell yourself, okay, chalo, December mein I'm taking 25 minutes, 30 minutes. December, Jan, I'm taking 30 minutes. February, March, can I bring it down to 25? April, May, can I bring it down to 20? And then slowly, maybe to around 12-14 minutes per set. That is how you look at it. As I said this earlier also, selection of sets is the most important. In fact, I make a very important video over this, how to select DILR set. What are the points you have to look in selecting DILR set? So this video which I will be creating, I will be giving it to you all, and you all will then look at that video and try to put that application of whatever I teach in that in every set which you do. So you have to tell yourself, okay, should I do this set because of so and so reason? Should I do this set because of so and so reason? Should I be reading questions first? Should I not be reading questions first? And so on. And the most important thing, practice, practice, and more practice. Just keep practicing more and more. Reach that number which we spoke about, 800 to 1000. If you're able to reach that number of 800 to 1000, most of the time you can say you've done well. That's the main important thing. And then comes mocks. As we've been saying, even during quant, I said this, even now I'm saying this. Writing mocks, there is nothing more important in CAT preparation than writing mocks. Everybody has to write mocks and enough mocks, because mocks give you a strategy. How much am I able to attempt? How much time? So there is a very important part in DILR, the first 7, 8, 10 minutes don't get you any marks most of the time. Why? Because the first 7, 8, 10 minutes normally goes into selection of your set. So do you have that patience in your mind, okay, to say, yes, I know that 7, 8, 10 minutes will not give me any marks, but because of that, that is not my sunken time, that is my invested time. Because of that, I will be able to actually take more efforts and do better in the remaining 30 minutes. Maybe solve 3 sets, 2.5 sets comfortably. That's how you see. Very rarely does anybody finish 4. And if you're finishing 5, you're close to God level. So remember that. That's how you have to look at it. Anybody has queries over here? We can discuss anything if you all want. Any points you all want to discuss over here, we can talk about it. I'm just waiting a minute. So if anybody has a query, they can ask. Okay. Looks like fine. So this is what we give you, LRDI essentials. Will give you a lot of data. It will give you for every topic. It will give you examples and it will give you some points to think. Okay, so there's somebody who mentioned both CAT and SSC CLG both require time and dedication to go. So go for both if you feel you can give your best to both. It's just my point of view. Okay, fair enough. Okay, this we already used up once. Sorry. Okay, so now tell me, are you all keen on doing, listen to this very carefully. Are you all keen on doing one set with me today? CAT 25 ka set I am planning to do. Are you all keen on doing one set so you all understand how to approach LRDI? Are you all keen? Just let me know yes or no in the chat. It will take us maybe 10-12 minutes to do it one set. If you all are keen, we can do that. Yes, I'm waiting for some Okay. Oh, there are a lot of chats, but I think I missed them. Where to find LRD essentials? Okay. Yes, sir. Everybody said. Okay. So third semester, Soumya, if it's a third semester of BA or something, BBA, you can go for it. Okay. So I'm going to give everybody some time to read these conditions. This is the only thing which was given in this. This is a CAT 2025 set. If you have done it, if somebody who's appeared for CAT 25 and has done it, can please be quiet and wait for the others to think. The others just start reading. This much part till here explains the rules. Till here it gives you rules, and then rest all are conditions which happened. So first read the rules. Okay, I want you to start thinking, how do you want to represent this data? All this data which they've given, how do you want to look at it? That's the main thinking I want you to do. Yes, has anybody thought how would they want to represent this data? Once they look at this data, how would they want to put it down? Okay, let's also read the questions around them. People who are still reading, just take a minute break and read the questions. What are the questions around? How many taps did Clive receive for his question? So this is a question around total taps. Clive received for his questions how many taps? So it's not an individual question. Which two people tapped an equal number of times in total? So even this question is around total taps. So there were two people who received the same number of taps. We want to know which are the two people. And then there are two more questions which are slightly different. What was Clive's response to Ehsan's question? That is a very peculiar question. That means Clive, when he was answering Ehsan's question, what did he say? Did he say yes, no, or maybe, whatever? And in total, how many yes responses were there across all the questions? Now think a little bit. Again, I'm going to show you the data. We've seen the question. Again, I'm going to show you the data. I want people to think and tell me how will they represent the data. Pratiksha, start thinking. If you have to put this whole thing in a data in some form, will you make a table out of it? What will you do? So and what kind of table will it be? Because just think from yourself. Suppose there is Alia. A is going to get answers to her questions also, and she's going to give answers to other people's question also. So that is how you have to think. Tabular is great, Krishna, but what type of table? So, in fact, this first statement only maybe can help you. Alia tapped a total of 6 times and received 9 taps to her questions. Like probability. I don't know where did probability come in this from. Okay, somebody gave a very good point. Vipul is given a very good point. We can make a 5 by 5 table. Excellent, Vipul. Others think, what does he mean by a 5 by 5 table? Just think. Okay, so we'll have a horizontal and vertical table. Great. Sounds good. So, how does this kind of table look like? Even in horizontal, I have named this A, B, C, D, E are names, and A, B, C, D, E are also names. So, Alia tapped a total of 6 times. Suppose if I write that 6 over here, Alia tapped 6 times. Now listen to me, everybody. Which means from here, we are going to put the data. How many taps did that person do? And here, from this side, we will look at the data. How many taps did they receive? So how many taps they gave and how many taps they received. Does this make sense? Do you all agree with the first point, these two things? Alia tapped a total of 6 times. So she tapped 6 times and she received 9 taps. Everybody clear till here? So what I do normally, I have a habit is all the direct data first I fill in the table. जितना भी मुझे मालूम दिख रहा है straight forward fill that in. तो मैंने इतना fill कर दिया. What else is given? She responded yes to the questions asked both by Clive and Dilshan. So Clive and Dilshan both gave a 1 and 1. Yes is 1, right? If you had read the conditions again properly, and even here it is written, yes is 1 and no is 2 and maybe is 3. Okay. So she has tapped 1 and 1 for Clive and Dilshan. Remember one thing, Alia cannot give answer to her own question. B cannot give answer to his own question. C also same, D also same, E also same. And total taps were 40. Is this making sense to you all now? Are you all understanding? Do you all think, oh, this is not so bad now? I think it can be done. Can I say I have used the point 1 completely, so I don't need to come back to point 1 at all? Next. Dilshan and Ehsan tapped a total of 11 and 9 times respectively. So Dilshan has tapped 11 times. Tap means gave. And Ehsan has tapped 9 times. Okay, तो ये भी ठीक लग रहा है. Dilshan responded with a no to Badal. So Dilshan gave a no to Badal. That means 2 points over here. Cool. So point number 2 also completely used up. Next. Dilshan, Badal, Dilshan and Ehsan received an equal number of taps to their questions. That means these three, Badal, Dilshan and Ehsan, all three numbers in these three yellow boxes which I just made are equal. So these three should be equal. I'll come to that later. So I just know that these three boxes are equal. Third point done. No one responded yes more than twice. That means while giving answers, nobody gave more than 2 ones. Maximum they gave is 2 ones. Nobody gave more than 2 ones. Now everybody just pay attention back to A. A has already given 2 ones. A के दो और 2 blanks है. Can you all tell me what will come in those 2 blanks? A needs a total of 6. A has given total 6 taps. 2 of them are 1. Cannot give any more ones. And they can give only 1, 2 or 3. That is the very obvious. So what will be the next 2 which are empty in case of A? Can be only 2 and 2. You all agree with that? Both of them can be only 2 and 2. So can I say I have finished everything to do with Alia? Okay. Was this understood by everybody? Is there anybody who has not understood why these 2 2s came? You can ask me now. I'll explain. Okay, once more. Mohit, what have they said? That everybody gave maximum only 2 ones. Nobody has given more than 2 ones. तो अगर यहाँ पे 2 1 आलिया के हो गए हैं, and to reach a total of 6, the only possibility is 2 2s. Total is 6 Alia ke liye. She has already given 2 ones to C and D. That means the only 2 other numbers possible to reach a total of 6 will be 2 plus 2. Got that much now? Okay. Also, I want everybody to read this part. Each question received at least 1 yes, 1 no, and 1 maybe. That means when I look at it column wise, every column has to have 1 1, 1 2 and 1 3 minimum. There are 4 places, but there'll be something which will be repeated. But in a column, in every column, there'll have to be 1 2 3 and something repeated. Not in this order. It can be like this. It can be 2 2 3 1. It can be any way, but there'll have to be 1 2 3 everywhere, right? That's what it is saying over here. Now, based on that, tell me what is Alia ka table ka total? Alia, sorry, not Alia, Badal. For B, what is the total? Can somebody tell me B's total? Think. B के 2 2 दिख रहे हैं मुझे. There are 2 blank places for B. What will those 2 blank places have to have? In those 2 blank places, I will need to definitely have what? Very good, Ranjan. Very good, Avni. Others think, Yani, one of them will have to be 1 and the other will have to be 3. Do you all agree with that? I don't know which will come where, but one will be 1 and the other will be 3. So the total will be 8. Total will be 8. And if this total is 8, these two will also be 8 because that's what they're told. Okay, Uday, again, let's have a look. Uday, what have they said in the start? If you read the first at the top, what has been said? That every column has to have 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3 because there has to be 1 yes, 1 no, and 1 maybe. What will that mean? That in the column wise, I will need 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3. Now for Badal, it already had 2 twos. That means the remaining two places has to have a 1 and a 3. So कौन सा 1 कौन सा 3 वो अभी तक मुझे नहीं मालूम है. That's okay, वो बाद में देखूंगा. But एक 1 होगा एक 3 होगा वो पक्का है. Do you all agree with that much? Uday, are you clear now? Okay. So therefore Badal ka total will become 8, and because Badal is 8, even whatever David or whoever this is, D is 8, and even E is 8 because that they had told us in this point. Point number 3. Okay. Now 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 9, subtract from 40. We will get this answer. So what is Clive ka total? So Clive ka total will become how much? Only one person has given, two people have given the answers. Others give 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. 24 plus 9 is 33. 33 subtract from 40 will become how much? 7. We got 7. So do you realize, if you have realized by now, we already got answer to one question. Let's just go back and see the question पीछे. क्या question था यहाँ पे? How many tabs did Clive receive for his question? Answer is 7. One question got 3 marks done. Was it so difficult? Think a little bit. So we got Clive. So point number 3, 4 done. I don't want you to read point 5 now. Point 5 पे बाद में आएंगे. Everybody will come to point 5 later. Let's go to point 6. Point 6 क्या है? Clive tapped more times in total than Badal. That means यहाँ पे जो दो missing है. Add up this 6 plus 9 plus 11 20, 20 plus 6 26. That means ये दोनों का total 14 है. ये दोनों का total 14 है. And they are saying Clive is more than Badal. And there is one question about somebody being equal. There is one question. What is the second question? Which of the following two people have equal totals? See, we can see Clive and Ehsan. Now, these two numbers can't be equal because they have said Clive is more than Badal. So when two numbers ka total is 14 and one number is more than the other, what are the possibilities you can get? You can get 8 and 6. Logically, you can get 9 and 5 also maybe. But let me explain why 9 is 5 is not possible. Let me explain why 9 and 5 is not possible. Now, if you look at it horizontally, look at what is Alia's total horizontally. Alia's total horizontal is 6. 2, 1, 1, 2. Can anybody get less than 6? Think. Is there any method by which you can get less than 6? Because you have been told you can put only 2 ones. If you can put only 2 ones, there is no way you can get less than 6. You will get everything more than 6 only. 6 or more than 6. That means Badal will get 6 and Clive will get 8 over here. And we have answered our second question also correct. That Alia and Badal are the two people who got the same number of taps, who gave the same number of taps. So hence, second question also done. 3 more marks done. This is Alia and Badal. 3 more marks done. Yes, are you all feeling good about it? Oh, CAT 25 set, we could solve 2 questions. So somebody saying A and B and or C also. How C? They are saying C is more than B. Clive is more than B. Clive tapped more times in total than B. So how can Clive be same? Not possible. I'll explain one more time this last part if you want. Okay, pay attention one more time. These two numbers were missing. We know their total was 14. Now, if you understand carefully, horizontally, no total can be lower than 6. Because even if you use two ones and two twos, you can reach a total of 6. You can't go below 6 because you're not allowed to use more than two ones. Rules of the game, constraints. I had used a word before called constraints. Once you understood this constraints logic, that becomes very interesting. So once you know this, no total can be lower than 6 and 14 को मुझे दो नंबर में break up करना है. 7 allowed नहीं है because they're saying C is more than D. So it can be only 6 and 8. Everybody clear now? Soumyadeep, did you understand? Yes or no? Now, so which means we got a second question answer also. Now, okay, now I want everybody to think like this. Let's look at Alia. What is Alia's total? Vertically, what is Alia's total? 9. जिसमें they have said vertical में एक 1 2 3 तो होना ही चाहिए. 1 2 3 has to be there. So what is Alia का next extra number to get 9? We also know Alia will get 1 1 1 2 1 3. So what is the extra number she'll get? Which number will repeat to reach the total 9? Tell me quickly. Alia will repeat which number? 3, no? Because if she has to reach a total of 9, so Alia will have a 1, 1, 2, 1, 3 and one more 3. Only then she'll reach 9. Tell me what about Badal? बादल को भी 1 2 1 3 1 3 1 1 2 3 तो चाहिए ही. तो बादल के लिए एक्स्ट्रा नंबर कौन सा होगा टू रीच 8? Badal has to reach 8. 1 2 3 has to be there. So one extra 2, only then Badal will reach 8. Same way tell me for Clive, David and Ehsan. Clive के लिए what? So for Alia that extra number is plus 1 3 extra. For Badal it is 2 extra. For Clive what is the number extra? Clive ka total is only 7. So 1 2 3 and then what else? Clive is 1 2 3 is 6. So if it is 7, Clive has a 1 extra. D also has 2 extra and E also has 2 extra. Yes or no? So basically Alia has a 3 extra, Badal has a 2 extra, C has 1 extra, D has 2 extra and E has 2 extra. Yes, everybody clear? Now I want you to go through the fourth question and try and answer it. Everybody read the fourth question. Totally how many yeses were there? In short, how many ones were there? How many ones are there? Now think. Everybody has 1 1. आलिया के पास एक 1 है. Vertically सोचो. एक 1 आलिया के पास है. बादल के पास भी एक 1 है. क्लाइव के पास 2 1s है. डी के पास एक 1 है और ई के पास एक 1 है. So what are the total number of ones? How 5, Ojashvi? Everybody has 1 1 and Clive has 2. No, Clive got 1 2 3. What did Clive get? Clive got 1 2 3 and 1. No. So Clive has 1 extra. So answer for this question is 6. Ojasvi, did you understand? Good Uday. Good Mohit. Ojasvi, I'm waiting for your reply. Did you understand? Okay. Missed E's. Okay. Oh, I thought you counted 1 for everybody. So hence the answer for this question is 6. So answer for this question is 6. 3 more marks. Very frankly, after this, in the exam situation, I would not waste my time on this question. Let me tell you why. बिकॉज इसके बाद बहुत कुछ बाकी है सॉल्व करने को. My whole internal data is still pending. It can be solved. In fact, by tomorrow, I will be releasing the video of the solution on YouTube. You can see the solutions. Okay. But my whole point is that in an exam situation, after this for one question, should I waste so much time that I have to solve so much more data? Because I've already got the easier part, three questions, I've got it directly. That one question for which I have to waste so much time, I would rather leave it, or I would rather take a guess, because the guess also was not so bad. See, Clive over here, what number can it be? So you will realize when you solve a little bit more, that number can be only one or two. Exactly. Why would I consume so much time? Why would I waste so much time for that one question? Leave that question and go ahead. This is the way I always explain LRDI sets, and this is how we will be doing. Same things are there over here, so nothing much to explain. No, it's not missing. You would have read the point. Pragati, you would not miss the point. You would still read the point, and you would have maybe put down some understanding on that point. Right now, I said without that point also you can answer, is my point. Okay, okay, Pragati? This we had already discussed last time. What are your time frames, your revision time? Anybody who was not there? Normally, till May, June, you should finish your syllabus once completely. Then start solving section test, mocks, a crash course again, revise everything one more time. That's how it works. Okay? These are our full CAT course modules. So now if people have queries, okay, so how to do selection? Anushka, that itself is a 2 hour session. Anushka Saxena. The session on how to select DILR sets, that itself is a 2 hour session where I talk about in detail. I take around 5-6 sets. I will explain to you how to go about each set, whether you should have done it in an exam situation, not done it. So obviously I'll teach that someday. So Kunal, normally I don't tell people to do every day all three areas. I tell them do one area, maximum two areas every day. Don't do all three areas every day. Do one area, or you can do a little bit of quant every day and one day LRDI, the other day verbal, whichever way you want to look at it. So obviously remember Kunal, just watching videos is never going to be enough. You have to solve. Till you don't do it on your own, you will rarely be able to do well. Always remember that. Vipul, that's a very wrong way to look at it. I should always target a 5 question set and not a 4 question set, because there is no guarantee that that will be easy or that will be difficult. You should target a set which you feel is easy, depending on what I teach you, how to select sets. After that, if you feel that, okay, this set, whether it's 4 or 5, should not matter to you. Like example, slot 3 this year, all sets with 4 questions were all very easy. So people were able to do 3 sets with 12 questions. Most of them will reach above 95. So how to start from basic, Soumya, is one thing is that you have to start practicing basic stuff. Very, very simple sets. Practice all those logical games, logical reasoning. And hence, once you start practicing basic stuff, you will start understanding, for which we will give you a lot of videos to do. Okay, any more queries, anybody? Sir, I have a doubt if I have to solve this essential LRDI for basic. Please give some tips how to start watching videos. So, Mohit, obviously, we will talk about that. You can always, we'll discuss how to actually go about each. You have your live classes going on, right? So, you can start going through that. In that, you can ask your queries. All those queries will be answered there. So you can start with the basic LRDI. Essentially, you can see LRDI. I mean, it is just about, it is like swimming. You have to jump in and you have to start. एक सेट शुरू करो, डिफिकल्ट इजी मुझे पता नहीं, शुरू करो. जस्ट स्टार्ट सॉल्विंग वन सेट मोर. So Shruti, after all that will open at a later stage when you will have your live class, then your application class, then your assignments. It opens as you go ahead. So don't worry. First, go through the basic stuff, Shruti. So normally basic should get completed by latest end of January. Latest. So, Jay Lakshmi, once you are a student, you will have enough practice material through assignments and tests and everything, through your application classes, through your live classes. You'll have enough sets to solve. The material, the books which we give you, all those will also have enough sets to solve. Okay. Next week, I'll be taking one class on speed maths to explain to you why speed maths is important. Also, understand maths. In maths, it's not just because the calculator is available. You can't say that, okay, I will always work through a calculator. You have to know stuff through your regular calculations also. You can't just depend only on calculator. Yeah, Soumya, that comes through practice. बेसिकली when you will look at lot more sets you will start understanding कि अब इस डेटा को टेबल में डालना है. जैसे अभी एक और एक एलआरडीआई का सेट था, डीआई का सेट था कैट 25 पेपर में से. I decided not to make a table, but I decided that every question I will tackle individually. So that becomes a different thing. So obviously, when you practice more and more, you start learning that. And as we teach you in class, that is what you ask us when we teach you in class, sir, why table over here? Why not individual question? And so, okay, everybody, can we wind up for the day then? As I said, next week for a similar thing, I will be taking speed maths class. I hope to see you there. Thank you, everybody. Sudoku daily is a must. I think you should start solving one difficult level Sudoku every day. Thank you, everybody. Bye, good night.